Hello, grade 7 students. This is day 21 of STP Mathematics 2A lesson series. Hope you can remember in the previous video we discussed about the angle of depression and I ask you to do these two questions, right? Before moving to the three-figure bearing, I will explain you these two sums. Hope all of you have done it. By any chance, if you are struggling to do these two questions or any of the scale drawing or the constructions thing, so then I ask you to go through my construction video one more time. There, I have explained all the steps. It's kind of a live video session that I'm doing the things with my compass and the protractor that you can see everything, that how I mark the angles, how I use the compass, that everything you can see. Please watch that video if you are struggling with all these construction. Right. So then here we want to have ABC triangle, and then the scale they have given, whenever you see 10 meters, you can use 1 centimeter. For 10 centimeter here, for 10 meters, if it is 1 centimeter, if you have 40 meters, then you should have 4 centimeters. So that calculation is very important before going for the construction or the scale drawing, right? You should understand the scale first. And you want to realize that if that is this, and what will be this kind of thing. So they have asked us to represent 10 meters with 1 centimeter. If it is 40 meters, it should be 4 centimeters, right? 4 centimeters, right? So then we do have something like this. Wait, I will move to the blank page, right? And here, first I draw a free line. The children, keep this in your mind that even though I'm just using like this, you are using your ruler and you can draw it nicely. And I mark what is this corner B, right? Then the next step, I want to construct the 90-degree angle here, right? So then like this, and this is the 90-degree angle, okay? And you have 90 degree. And here it should be 4 centimeters now. You open your compass and measure 4 centimeters and mark 4 centimeters like this, right? I'll take a different color to show you the different steps, that this is 4 centimeter. Okay. After that, they have shown us something, the angle of depression of C from A. From A, this is 25, right? Then you have a calculation. If this is 25, you can see this line is parallel to this line. So then we can have the alternate angle, and this is also 25. Hope it is clear, right? They have given the additional details that they have given the angle of depression of C from A. It is 25. And I can see here that these are alternate angles, therefore ACB will be 25 degrees. If that is 25 children, if this is 90, what will be this angle? I want to find that, right? Why? That how I'm going to find it? From 180, I deduct 90 first. That is the main angle here. And then I deduct 25, right? That is how I do the calculation, right? Then you can do it step by step, or you can straight away do that, right? So then from 180, you deduct 90 and you deduct 25. So then it gives me the answer 65 degrees. Now this should be 25, no children? What we do, that I know this particular point because this is the place that I want to have it, and I keep my protractor. From this corner, I measure 65 like this, okay? from this corner. That means why I am showing like that from this corner. You know, in a protractor, we do have two zeros, inner zero and outer zero, that inner scale and the outer scale. You keep the protractor to this direction and you see that which zero works for this. So maybe the inner scale, maybe the outer scale, depends on the way that if you keep it to this side sometimes, so then it is different. If you keep it to this side, that it is different. That it changes, that you want to see that which zero you are going to take, and you remove the protractor, and from here you draw a line until you meet this. So then this become C, okay, and this become A. If your drawing is correct, now this should be 65, no, right? This is 65. If your drawing is correct, right, your C angle should be 25. You just measure and see whether it is 25, right? You can conclude or you can justify whether your answer is correct. That confirm, yeah, if it is 65, this is correct. That is how we want to do. So then we are not using that this line here because we calculated internal angles with the help of this angle. Therefore, we don't want to do it, right? Okay, so then next one, from L, right? This is from L. The angle of depression of N is 40 degrees. N is here now. The earlier they have drawn the path and we just wanted to mark the angle. But this time they have not given anything. You want to mark, this is your eye level, because from N, if you look at N, this is your eye level. And if you want to look at N, you want to turn your eyes to this direction, that is 40 degrees. That is 40 degrees. With the previous explanation, by now you know this is also should be 40 degree because that we can create the alternate angle with these parallel lines. If this is 90, if this is 40, this one will be 50 degrees, right? Okay, so now I have everything. But the next thing I should do, the most important thing, I want to consider the scale they have given, right? So then what they have asked me to take, that if it is, whenever I see 10 meters, that I can use 1 centimeters. Whenever that I will use the same color to write down this, that I know whenever it is 10 meters, it is 1 centimeters. If it is 65 meters, what will happen? So how do you do this? 1 over 10 multiplied by 65. Then the answer is 6.5 centimeters. Right? So then the earlier calculation I couldn't show you, no? So then this is the same thing we do. 1 over 10 multiplied by 40, 10 times 1, 10 times 4. That is how it came 4 centimeters. Similar to that, I do the same thing. 65 times 1, 65. 65 divided by 10, it is 6.5. Now I have all the information with me. I just want to do the calculation now, right? I just want to do the construction part, right? I do the same thing, children. So then what I do, I draw the free line using the ruler and mark the point, what it is M, right? It is M. And I want to create the 90 degree here, right? And you know that how we can create the 90 degree, and this is, oh, so then this is 90 degree, okay? I'm done with the 90 degree. What happened? This is 90 degree. Then that I want to measure 6.5. You open the compass. By now you know these words, right? These terms, that when I ask you to open the compass, you know what to do now. You open the compass measure 6.5 and you draw an arc. What is that letter? It is L. So this is L. From L, you look at N and you want to mark 50 degree inside this now. So the similar to the earlier one, I keep, this is the point, and I keep the protractor like this, right? And then I mark 50, right? And again that I want to do it to this side measurement, and then I remove the protractor. When I remove the protractor and I draw it like this, and this is N, okay? As I told you earlier, that if your drawing is correct, first I will mark this. So this is 50 degrees, this is 90 degrees. If your drawing is correct, this should be 40 degrees. That is how you can confirm that you have done the correct way. And here we want to mark 6.5 centimeters, right? And yeah, so then we just want to draw them. We don't want to measure anything. In some question, they will ask you to measure them in length, right? Or ln length. That can be anything. But here they have not asked something like that. They have just asked us to do the construction, right? So then, yeah, that's it. 1 to 4. Yeah, okay. So then we are moving to, I think that it is clear for all of you. If it is not, please mention or comment in the video itself. So then I will go through them and support you that with the next videos or sometimes with the past paper discussions, right? Okay, children, we'll move to the next topic. This is very important. You will be have to learn. You will be learning this in grade 8 also, right? But this is just the introduction. Three-figure bearing. I'll tell you it like this, right? First of all, you want to understand why we call this three-figure bearing. Before that, I will explain how this works. Now, you just imagine this is you. Okay, this is you. Do you want to have hairs? Yeah, okay. And then you look at the north direction. This is the north direction, right? And you can hear a bird is singing, right? Bird is singing here, right? And you want to look at him. You want to look at him, right? For that, you want to turn to this side. You want to turn to this side. How many degrees you turn? That we call the bearing of the tree from the child, right? This is the child and this is the tree and this is the north direction. Always keep that in your mind wherever you are. If you want to check the bearing, always you want to look at, maybe that you are looking at the west direction, but if when you're talking about the three-figure bearing, always you want to turn into north first, right? That is the most important thing. You turn into the north direction and you look at the north direction and then you turn into the tree, but always you take the clockwise turn, right? You take the clockwise turn. I'll show you. Let's say that your home is here, right? That your little brother is shouting and you want to look at that. What is the easiest method? That if you're looking at this, that you just look at this, right? To turn to this side. That's the practical way. But in mathematics, we are not looking at that. The rule, always you can turn only clockwise. Therefore, you have to the next turn that you want to look at from here, you look at this and turn, and this is the bearing of house, right? Bearing of house from the child, right? Whoever who is looking at the north direction, who is connected with the north direction, that particular point will be from child, from house, from lighthouse, from boat. There can be different things, but you want to understand always the from word, from A, from P, they can give you anything. that from part will be connected with the north direction, and whatever the object you want to look at, that you turn clockwise, and how many degrees you turn. So then that we call the bearing of house from the child, the bearing of tree from the child. That is how we explain it. Now you go to your theory book, put the date, and write down the subtopic. Write down the subtopic. It is three-figure bearing. Three-figure bearing. Okay. Right. After that, you can write a bearing is a compass direction. If you are standing at a point A and looking at a tree B in the distance as shown in the diagram below, then using compass direction you could say from A, because A is connected with north direction, from A, the bearing of B is the southeast. That's the direction, right? Southeast. You know that north, northeast, east, southeast, south, southwest, west, northwest, north. So these are the directions. You know that. So when you look at the B, the tree, it is that the direction, the bearing of B is southeast. But in our math lesson, that when it comes to three-figure bearing, you want to explain the bearing, start from north, and you move clockwise, write the value with 3 degrees. For an example, children, let's say, so this is only 60 degrees, right? This is only 60 degrees for an example. So then we just write the bearing of tree from the child is, it is 60 degrees, but I don't just write 60, I write 0, 6, 0, if the degree value is with 2 digits, right? If the degree value is with 2 digits, so then we just write 0, 6, 0. If not, that we write it, that here it can be, let's say, to 90, 300 for an example. If this is 300 degrees, right, then you can just write 300 because already you have 3 digits in the value, right? So then you want to copy down everything like this, right? You can copy down everything like this in your book. After that, after that, you can draw my diagram, and here I'm going to write the bearing of house. Bearing of house from the child is 300 degrees, right? So then first you want to copy down everything, then you draw this diagram, okay, and write down this, right? That I'm not waiting for you because I know you can pause the video and you can copy down this, okay? Then we'll see that this is the most important thing. You can write this. A three-figure bearing is a clockwise angle measured from north. So far, what we explained, so it's there. And look at the example. This is how it appears in your exam paper. Draw a rough sketch. When it comes to the rough sketch, we are not measuring the things, that we are just taking the rough sketch, right? We are not using the protractor even. We are just taking, it's kind of a rough estimate because you know, children, that this is 90 degree, no? If you want to have the 60 degrees, so then we know this exactly middle is 45. So then the 60 should be somewhere here, right? Let's say you have 110 and you know this is 90. and this is 180, and then you know that this is in between, and 110 will be here. Okay, so something like that. You want to just imagine that what's the angle, that we are not using the protractor because this is a rough sketch, but you just imagine that you are marking 60 and you have marked it like this. That is wrong, right? Because anyone can understand this is more than 90 because it goes beyond this level. So then you can't mark this as 60 because this is a rough sketch and teacher asks us to not to use the protractor. Therefore, I do what I wish. No, it doesn't work and you don't get the marks. Something like this. So you want to justify. So that is kind of approximately should be equal to 60. And illustrate that the bearing of a lighthouse B, this is the lighthouse, right? Lighthouse B, from ship A, when you hear the word from, always you should have the north direction with him. Is 60. See that the way they have written 60, 0, 6, 0. But when we are marking the diagram, we just show 6, 0. Mark the angle in your sketch. So then do you know how do you get the marks in the exam, children? So they will give you 1 mark for this and 1 mark for this, 1 mark and 1 mark, right? And for the whole thing, so then another mark, altogether you get 4 marks normally. Right? To get the 4 marks, you want to mark each and everything correctly, right? You can pause the video and copy down this example. Now look at this one. From a ship C, this one, okay, the bearing of D is 290. Now, how are you going to show this 290? Because you know, here I have shown you that this part, it is from here to here, we know it is 270. How it comes 270, children? That you just imagine, this is 90. And another 90, all together, so this will become 270. If I want to mark 290, definitely it should be more than that level. So therefore, they have marked it more than that, right? 290. And see that the things they have marked here, they have marked the north direction, C, the ship, and the D ship here. And they have marked the angle, always that you want to show the arrow. Can you see why we need to show the arrow like this? That it shows that we are turning the clockwise. It gives an indication that this particular person or that whoever that who is checking this, they have turned clockwise. Always you want to show that. You just see that here also they have used the small arrow like this to show the clockwise direction, right? And here you can mark it like this, right? Okay, children. So then you can do question number 1 and 5 as the homework, right? Question number 1 and 5 as the homework. We will discuss them in the next video. And one more thing, very special announcement. Most probably, I know in Sri Lanka, you have a holiday on 20th of October. And the last week of October, you will be having your formative assessment. Therefore, I am planning to have a special class on 20th. It can be a class, still I have not decided. If yes, that I will share the timetable and everything on my Facebook page, and whether you want to make a payment or something like that, or sometimes it can be a live YouTube video. I'll exactly tell you what I'm going to do, but keep in touch, keep the day free. And I want to have maybe 3 hours for each grade to discuss the past papers and the tips you want to be ready for the formative assessment. Okay, children, we'll meet again next day. Till then, stay safe. Bye.